The idea that we can learn new information while sleeping is one that has been explored in science fiction as well as scientific investigations. The idea is especially appealing because it suggests that learning can be effortless. Research has mostly shown no effects and occasionally very limited and weak effects. It has thus been concluded that sleep learning is, at best, a very weak phenomena and therefore an impractical way to acquire new information. However, while we don't appear to learn new information while sleeping, there is ample evidence that sleeping strengthens learning and memory of recently learned information. That is, information you learned while previously awake. We'll explore this later when we cover functions of sleep and dreaming. What about music during sleep? Sanchez and Boutsen did a music study in 1985 to determine if music helped or hindered sleep. They had participants try to take a 2-hour nap while listening to white noise, soft rock, classical music, or hard rock. The type of noise made a difference in how long participants were able to sleep. As you might have guessed, those who slept the longest, 103 minutes on average, were those listening to white noise, in other words, no music, followed by classical music, 69 and a half minutes, then soft rock, 38 minutes, and the least sleep came with hard rock, 5.4 minutes. What about yawning? Yawning is an involuntary, slow, deep breath accompanied by wide gaping at the mouth and is found in all mammals and possibly all vertebrates. Once started, it cannot be stopped, but it can be stifled. However, a stifled yawn is not satisfying. Only a fully realized gaping mouth yawn is. Try this once. The next time you feel like yawning, force it through your nose or clench your teeth. Then compare that to how you feel after a fully realized yawn. The functions of yawning are not yet conclusively known. It is a common myth that we yawn because our brain needs more oxygen. It is true that yawning includes extra expansion of the lungs, resulting in more oxygen intake and more blood going to the cortex of the brain. However, breathing pure oxygen does not cause yawning, so we can eliminate that theory. Although not well understood, the functions of yawning do seem related to alertness, nonverbal communication, and possibly evolution. Yawning tends to occur when we need to be vigilant but are in a non-stimulating situation. Thus, the alertness function in the fact it most likely occurs shortly after waking or shortly before going to bed. We tend to yawn when we are bored, thus the often unintended nonverbal communication function. Finally, it is hypothesized that yawning evolved in humans because it helped to synchronize bedtimes in our early hunting-gathering ancestors, thus the possible evolution function. Some non-human mammals show two different varieties of yawns. Both involve a wide mouth and impressive tooth display, but one communicates threat or aggression and involves wide open eyes, while the other communicates dominance and or readiness to sleep and involves closed eyes. Yawning among humans is highly contagious, explained at least partially by the power of suggestion. Seeing others yawn, hearing a yawn, even reading or hearing about a yawn increases the urge to yawn. And that is precisely why I placed this yawning question at the very end of this lecture. Are you yawning yet? This concludes our lecture on sleep variations and other sleep phenomena, and concludes the first quarter of this class. Our next lecture after exam 1 will focus on the sleeping brain. We will be posting some totally free tips for studying for your exam on Blackboard. We wish you the best on your first exam, so be sure to look for them. And congratulations for completing the first quarter of this class.